WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I have something from That Boutique-y Whisky Company, single grain Scotch whiskey, distilled at the North British Distillery, aged 27 years, batch number 3, bottle number 337 of 760, and this has a alcohol of ABV of 56.3%. Wow, not bad. Now, this costs over here about 60 euros, half-liter bottle, so we're talking about $72, $74 at the moment. This was actually bottled 2016. 2017 was batch 4, 2018 was batch number 5, whiskey base number 84923. So if we go back in time, 2016, bottled, 27 years old. This was distilled 1989, the year the wall came down over here in Germany. Wow, that's a long time ago. So, who knows? On the label, That Boutique always uses a type of cartoon. At the back it says here, our limited edition labels are hand illustrated and designed with a nod towards whimsical, often incorporating whiskey industrial in-jokes. Now, the problem is this little guy here is a supervillain. He has a cat on his lap. And this little guy here says, the smoking pigs are ready to go. We've got adequate stocks of beef burgers for the swans, but we're concerned about the 20-foot chickens. They look scared. Now, many people have contacted That Boutique Whisky Company and asked, hey, what's going on with the label? What's that all? What does that mean? And they go, I don't know. We don't know either, which I really, really love. All right, in my German videos, what I often do is I actually compare things. And I'm going to compare this as well. I'm going to make you a tiny little bit here envious. This is the Cooper's Choice. This is the Golden Grain. This is a 50-year-old whiskey, 50. 50 years old, one of 250 bottles, bourbon cask matured, 50%. Wow. Over here, this bottle goes for about 320 euros, up about $350 for a grain for a 50-year-old whiskey. So this is basically the oldest whiskey I've ever had, and I was allowed to buy this bottle here from a friend of mine with about 10 CL left, and I did a video with another YouTuber over here in Germany. He was, of course, as my wife would say, flashed by this whiskey. It's very, very interesting. A little bit different than this. Now, Northern British, I also did a video about Northern British distillery once, and about the enormous just mass of production. It's just it's an industrial site. And as my son would used to say, they actually produce a zillion gillion gallons of whiskey a year. A zillion gillion gallons. It's a couple million, actually. Very, very big. They have a great CO2 recapturing process. Fairly green, even though they do, I think they use like a truckload of grain an hour to produce their whiskey. Massive, massive amounts there. All right, on the nose. Creme brulee. This is really just caramel sugar with a nice vanilla note from the bourbon cask. Excellent, excellent stuff. This is more complex. It has a more deeper, darker moment to it. Very, very, very interesting. Now, let's go back to the 27-year-old North British. As I said, there's now batch number 4, sold out. Batch number 5 at the moment, about 60 euros. Would I buy this again? Yes. Now, the reason I bought this bottle the very, very first time was I did a Lowlands whiskey tasting evening. So what do? You buy here some Glen Kinnichi, you buy some Auchentoshan, you buy something from Blenderloch, the new distillery. I had some old stuff there. And then it was like, okay, 2 Auchentoshans, a Glen Kinnich. Then I had that Boutique-y with North British. And then I found another grain whiskey from Girvan Distillery. And I was like, I need one more. Oh no. And it was really difficult to find something that was actually something out there. And so what did I do? I went for the Epicurean from Douglas Lane here, the Lowland Blended Malt, which I like, and I've also tried the cask strength Epicurean, which I like a lot. And that was basically my tasting evening. So, and I had to have something, this was something I wanted and something I liked. Now, 56.3% is just a little bit too much for my taste buds. It's just a little bit too much alcohol. Towards the end, it's like, so nice, so nice, so nice. And the really great thing here about this whiskey is you get to have the cask influence of a bourbon, ex-bourbon barrel in its purest form. So they distill this upwards of 90% ABV. They water it down to about 72%, put it in the barrels, and leave it there for 27 years, 50 years. And then they actually just take those barrels. This case, I think it was 2 barrels together that they actually mixed. And single grain means from one distillery. It's not a single cask. And then they just bottle it. Usually, the other ones were around 200 some bottles, and so if it's 700, it might actually have been 400 some bottles for this batch. It's very pure. It's very simple. Yes, not complex, but it's delicious in my opinion. This is almost like a dessert wine. If you do like your cognacs, you do like your port wines, you like your sherries and so on, why not try a single grain whiskey instead and just go, wow. Very nice. Very brief comparison to the 50-year-old. Much deeper, darker, chocolatey, mocha moments. And there's even a tiny little bit of smoky peatedness at the end there. Interesting. Okay, it's not about the 50-year-old. I'm just showing off by having that bottle here. It's about this bottle. And actually, I have a bottle share. I have a list of all my different bottles online that you can order over here in Europe. WhiskyJason@gmail.com or .com. And a guy said, hey, Jason, on your list, there's 10 CL left. And I was like, oh, it's not 10 CLs. It's more like 6 or so. And I have to do a video as well. So you're going to get whatever's left over. And that's what happened here, that I said, oh, I need to do the video really quick before I get rid of the bottle. I also remember once going to an open bar. This was a whiskey store that's here around in our area, and once a year they do this open bar type of thing. You pay, I don't know, I think it was 60, 70 euros, and there's 30 whiskeys there. You get a nice little barbecue type of dinner, and you can go to the bar as much as you want. And I kept on going back to the single grain. I just loved it. It was so great. I don't remember exactly if it wasn't this bottle. It was an old particular, I think it was 23-year-old single grain as well. Fantastic. And this was something I really enjoyed. So a B, a solid B. Yay, almost going up to a B plus. Value for money, C minus. 60 euros is a lot of money for a half-liter bottle, but where else do you get a 27-year-old whiskey for this price? Come on, guys. 300 plus euros, too much. But 50 years. Show me a 50-year-old whiskey under 4 digits, except for single grain. All right, so that's one of the things you can actually do and show off with your friends if you want to, like I did. Whiskey Jason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Question number 1, what other grain whiskeys have you heard of? The Cheetah is from Japan, Kilbeggan is from Ireland. I talked about Girvan as well as North British. What other grain distilleries have you heard of? Write it down in the comments. That'd be very interesting for me and helpful. A little bit of the intelligence of the group. And secondly, my whiskey videos come out on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. It'd be great if you could like it, share these videos, or even tell other people about this crazy American over here in Europe tasting things you'll probably never ever see or have the chance to taste. All the best. Whiskey Jason here. Bye-bye.